What is up, everybody? I'm No Lex Given here with your afternoon snap, and today I wanted to try out Panther-Zola. At least that's what I'm calling it. I don't know what the official name of the deck is, if there is one, but this deck was just recently, this past weekend, used to win a tournament by player IV1_3. IWAN_3 on Twitter. So I've been playing it a little bit. I've actually gotten a fair share of silver tickets from it, just playing a little bit offline. So I figured I would load up the stream and spend some of those silver tickets and see what we can do here. So I'm gonna battle and see if I can't win 2 in a row with Panther-Zola. It's pretty cool. Both Wave and Sandman, I think, are both pretty good right now against all of the Sarah lists and all of the Kitty Pryde lists running around. You might have to excuse me intermittently, by the way. My nose has just been running this past week as we're working around here, tearing up the carpets and doing some stuff like that. So, yeah, having some allergies, and I also can't find my glasses still. So my eyes are a little bit watery, both from the allergies and from looking at screens and looking at lights. Okay, not a great start to the game, but if we can find a wave, we've got a nice curve. Wakandan Embassy isn't going to go super far since we can't play all of these cards, but so far we're only in it for 1 cube. Kitty Pryde is still a good thing to see. Dream Dimension, not so great, because it means we're not going to have a turn 4 play, or a turn 5 play rather, and my opponent is. We could kind of get away with Wave Odin. Does that allow me to grab a win in Asgard, potentially, too? And then I'm also just debating if I would like to, I could even go Wave, Panther-Zola, Odin. Seems interesting, at the very least. It doesn't seem like that's going to be a play that allows me to win in Asgard, but you don't really need to win in Asgard if you can wave your opponent every single turn. That's kind of what I was talking about. That's pretty decent in the meta right now. We're tied right here, so Magneto, if I played Magneto, I would just play it into Asgard. A few different options here then. But as weird as this is, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try Panther-Zola, which will cast another wave. And then next turn I get to Odin on the Panther-Zola. That will make 2 more copies of Odin, which then each hit wave, and we continue to wave my opponent. So my opponent's going to draw 2 extra cards, but not be able to do anything with them. At the very least, that seems funny, right? They've got Sarah. It's just not going to matter. The Bishop, therefore, isn't going to be as strong, and then on the final turn, I can either play the Dr. Doom or the Magneto. Dr. Doom is a little bit more points. But yeah, I think I just Odin here. So Odin will trigger the Panther-Zola, so it's 20 power, not too shabby. And then it will hit wave again, which, that's the important part, stopping my opponent's power here. I don't know, seems cool. Seems cool to me. I've never done this exact line before. Just kind of started playing the deck. I'm not really too experienced with Panther-Zola, and they're gonna get out of it. All right, they don't love the triple wave, but I do. That was sweet. That was really sweet. So, see how much more of that we can do. At the very least, that was a really cool showcase for why SandWave is so good in the current meta, I think. So, a nice little 2-0 lead to kick the video off, and for some reason that froze for me. Okay, weird. You could see the next button was like webbed out or something, but thwip, webs. Oh, it's because my opponent just did not want to have any of that. Oh, we really had their number. Okay, we'll jump in another one then. Fair enough. Okay, that is why my next button got like weirdly grayed out. They just did not want to play in this kind of queue. It's a little bit bold. We're not going to be able to triple wave them every single game, but if you can deliver such a savage beatdown for 2 cubes only, then I guess that does still count. Now, Electro into Oscorp Tower, not a way that you would typically think about waving your opponent out, but quite good as well. So I'm going to snap to Oscorp Tower here, as I generally tend to do, and I'll just drop that Falcon for some power into the hub. You do generally want to keep one location open, kind of like long decks that I've talked about in the past, so that way you can go like Panther-Zola in those locations. But Tinker's Workshop's going to be fine enough, and I kind of just decided that Falcon would be better in an open location here. So now we've got Electro. We could go Arrow, Dr. Doom, Odin. That's a really strong curve. Kind of hard to undersell that, but Electro, insane against Mjolnir, feeling pretty fantastic to kick things off here. Yeah, there's no need to play Sandman at this point. My opponent is already Sandman, so might as well just Arrow, and I'm trying to think if there's any particular reason to play these cards in one order or the other. No, I think I'm just going to go Arrow, Dr. Doom, Odin, and be pretty content with that. Cool. All right. Really great showcase to kick things off this video. I'll even be able to play an Iceman next turn because we are not electrified. So we'll have that extra energy to make use of. So that's sweet. Let's finish things off with Odin, and I'll play Odin, Iceman. I don't think the order really matters too much there. That'll drag them into the Oscorp Tower, where I'm currently winning by 17. And then it'll give me the win in the workshop as well. So, it seems tough for them. That's going to be a 2-cube victory. Or 2-cube lead. 2-cube lead. Not a 2-cube victory. That last match was a 2-cube victory. Currently, we've got a 2-cube lead. Medusa is a nice little card that I think people were like after playing it some in this deck, it feels like people were sleeping on it in the past because it's just a 2-5. Previously, it was a 2-4, but then you can pump it up again with Odin. So, kind of fits like the Nebula or Sunspot role in the deck. We actually won't be able to Odin it this game because Bifrost is going to move it out of there. But that is fine. We can wave out a Dr. Doom, and then we can Zola the Dr. Doom. I might even want to wave into Vormir this turn. Main reason being, with Bifrost, we were potentially going to run out of space for the Doombots. Maybe that's not true. I think I could probably snap, though, with Wave. I mean, they're also a big stuff deck. It looks like a Lockjaw deck, right? Maybe I won't. Yeah, I don't know. Right now the plan is Dr. Doom, Arrow, Arnim Zola on the Dr. Doom. And that'll add 2 more things into Vormir. I guess that's just good enough. Let's go with this. I'm a little bit hesitant to snap. No plays for my opponent. The first 3 turns does kind of make me feel like I should be snapping here, though. Oh, this is going to fill up Vormir because of the Bifrost. Okay, well then I might just go Arrow Odin. That's still a fine play. Let's see what my opponent has. Also has Dr. Doom. Okay, fair enough. Well, they can beat me in Vormir, but not easily, because they still have to play Wasp there or something before they can even unlock the location. And we can just play, like, Arrow to keep them from even being able to do that. Not in a super easy way, but they can't do runner both in one turn. So I think we just go Arrow and then Odin in the center lane for one more Doombot. Okay, we take the card out of Vormir. That's going to be a moved over Wasp, I believe. Yep. So we're currently looking to lose... in Lemuria pretty heavily. And at that point, it feels like I should just play Magneto into the Bifrost. Because there's no way they can grab Vormir this turn at this point. Yeah. Which means I just need to have the biggest power in Bifrost now. Arguably, biggest power is playing around Shang-Chi. Maybe that's just better. Maybe it's just better to play around Shang-Chi, huh? Though not like this loses to Shang-Chi. I don't know. We're already up by 5. So they would have to have 14 power. I can't even think of what that would be. I'm just not really willing to snap. I feel like this might have even been a slow retreat already for my opponent. Just go Magneto. Okay, yeah, it was a slow retreat. I thought it might have been, but I was just like trying to think of what it possibly could have been. We have an idea of what their deck really is for the most part. It's just going to be like Dracula, Infinite, maybe Giganto. I don't know that, and that's like probably it. So the wave is like awkward in this matchup, but Sandman is still pretty good. As you could see in that first game, Sandman's still pretty good against... sorry, my phone is just... Keeps giving me notifications over here, distracting me slightly. The raft. So I don't think we're really going to play into the raft. What I think we're going to do is, because we can't Zola in Wakanda and we can't Zolo in Hell's Kitchen, we're just going to set up a Black Panther-Zola over in the raft. And if my opponent actually completes it there by drawing Jane Foster, could get a little bit awkward. But I'm pretty sure we're still supposed to go for this. Odin is like a crazy draw. Okay, they went for Lockjaw over in Hell's Kitchen. So I'm pretty sure we just play this in case we draw Odin, and then we can Odin the Zola, and Odin's fling around elsewhere. If not, I'm not sure what we do, but Magneto on Lockjaw is also really funny. But I want to give myself the chance to draw Odin. 1 and 3 to draw Odin next turn because of Hell's Kitchen. Thinning our deck a little bit. Okay, that's totally acceptable. Killmonger goes away. That's just a nice little tech card they got in there for the mid-game, and that gives them a Wasp, which is going to take a little bit of the power away from us, but not enough that I think I really care, and they're just going to get out of there. They're going to do the fast retreat. That is the one benefit of if your opponent slow retreats, take your time, and then they might fast retreat the next time. They might have a different idea, but yeah, they were just behind by 15 in both of those locations. I felt like that was still like an interesting game, but I was just going to move around the Lockjaw. And then I think there's not really too much room for them to maneuver. We don't know that they don't have Shang-Chi, though I will say this deck oftentimes is not playing Shang-Chi right now. Though it always feels like they could or should play it. Onslaught Citadel does nothing for this deck, rather. But looks like we might just be playing as Sandman on turn 4 at this point. Okay, Electro into Murder World. I'm not going to pass up that opportunity. Then we can go Sandman, Doctor Doom, Odin. Seems like a pretty great curve. I'm being a little bit hesitant in my snaps right now because I wanted this has been such a fun video. I want to take it seriously. I want to be good, but I mean, I think if we snap into Murder World, they probably know that that's just us killing an Electro. They're probably fine with this. And we'll stay in it here. We're only up 4 cubes right now. We took 2 cubes, 1 cube, 1 cube, if I remember correctly. My opponent playing it pretty safe. I'm playing it pretty safe right now. This is game 2. This ain't game 1. So a little bit more on the line. Lockjaw Wasp is going to allow them to get in under the Sandman, but they won't be able to play the Mjolnir or the Wasp in future turns. That's the important part. If they play Jane Foster here, it's not going to be that good. Odin Black Panther is cheeky, but I think that Sandman is just really important on the field right now, and then the plan is Doctor Doom, Odin Doom. And then we're affecting multiple lanes while they can only afford to affect 1 lane per turn. So that's the plan. Wasp is going to get us for a little bit of extra power before it goes away, and then they hit a Doctor Doom of their own. But now I think I just Doctor Doom Odin them. And that's really tough for them to beat. They only have 5 energy this turn. It's going to be Wasp again. Wasp off the top, adding some additional power. What's it going to give them this time? Killmonger. Okay, that actually does set me back in some power. And now we're tied in Monster Island. And I actually don't win. I'm tied currently in Monster Island, and I don't win in Onslaught Citadel. So this is tricky for 4 cubes. They can probably beat us at either of these locations that they play to, and then we're only adding 13 here. I don't think that there's... I think this is losing. Like, this just loses to Hulk or Magneto. Or Giganto. It loses to... literally Jane Foster. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We just took too many hits from the Wasp here that we're going to have to get out of this one. So, I'll do a slow retreat. My opponent is going to stay in it, and now we're only up by 2 cubes. Okay. This is a battle. But that's, I mean, I'm having fun. I love Conquest. I love the, yeah, just slow, drawn-out fights that you get in this game mode. Let's hit him with the Iceman. Electro into Magic is not terrible, though I have other 5-cost cards that I could play as well. Okay. We missed on Nidavellir. That's interesting. I mean, with how many 5-cost cards we have in my hand, the answer here has to be Electro into Nidavellir. I just have 5-cost cards in my hand, so yeah. They dodged Nidavellir, which is interesting. Okay, Thor. I think my opponent is yet to see my Magneto and my Devil Dino, but I'm not 100% sold on that. Interesting curve we have here is like White Tiger into Doctor Doom into Odin. I don't hate Sandman when they've played Thor. White Tiger Doctor Doom seems pretty cool, though. Let's go for it. Alright, they did have the Lockjaw this turn. This is Lockjaw Wasp. Oh no, it's Killmonger. Okay, well then my Iceman was irrelevant. And Wasp for extra power into Nidavellir. So we're currently losing a Nidavellir. Magic gives me an additional turn to potentially draw Odin. I literally just haven't drawn the combo yet. Magneto on Killmonger also seems like it might be a pretty spicy way to trip my opponent up here. Sandman's awkward in a matchup like this because then they're playing a bunch of power that turn and I'm not. But they just play Jane here. Then I do get a little bit punished because then they just get a free 6 power anyways. But I think I'm going to go for Doctor Doom right now. I can actually still race Thor here. Like, we're currently beating Thor in the hub, plus Mjolnir. The awkward part is that Mjolnir adds 5 power to Nidavellir as well. That I don't love. But what I'm thinking here is taking the Thor out of the hub and taking the Killmonger out of Nidavellir. Means that we're winning here by 11. We might lose this location, though, still. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That's not 11. Wait, where did I get 11 from? Currently winning it by 1. I'll be winning it by 9 still. They really just have to play 2 cards to Nidavellir this turn to beat Magneto, and they're likely to play 2 cards to Nidavellir because just Mjolnir into Nidavellir does not win it. But Thor plus Mjolnir also does not win it. I don't want to drag the Thor in here, but they just play 2 cards to Nidavellir, then we would just win with Devil Dino. This is a really, really tricky one. I'm going to go with this, because I think they're just going to play 2 cards to Nidavellir. Now, is it Odin? Or what is it? Because that doesn't flip the hub. It is Odin. Drat. Okay. So that's a pretty big setback. Now we are down in cubes. If I had moved Thor out of there, we still lose the game. So I probably needed to just retreat. Was there any way around this? No, because if I played Magneto in the center, I could have won Nidavellir, but then I would have lost the other 2 locations. I didn't think about Odin until the last second. Probably just needed to retreat that one. It wasn't super glamorous, but I think it was pretty tough to win, actually. Now we've got a Wave Zola shenanigan again. Let's lead with Medusa. Currently down by 2 cubes. Okay, that's not fantastic for Devil Dinosaur. But it does give me Zola, Panther, Odin. So I might go Panther, Zola, Odin all into Nidavellir next 3 turns. That seems like a lot of power and pretty fun. I'll snap. Okay, well, they snapped. Snap was irrelevant, but we're playing it. We're playing it out, baby. I'm going to go for the Electro. Mjolnir, or Thor rather, is really good into Lamentis 1. So that's probably why they're snapping. Yep. And I'm just going to dodge Nidavellir. I actually love that they played Thor into Nidavellir here, because we are playing Panther into Nidavellir so that we can totally dodge the location. So I think this is a win. I think this is a win. Wasp, sure. Plus high Evo and Mjolnir, trying to get in under that Sandman. Makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, high evolutionary, turning off Washington, D.C. for my opponent. Now we're going to get 2 16 power Panthers, which we're going to double up to 32. So 40 power in Lamentis 1 and 48 power in Washington, D.C. So we just have to beat 48 power in Washington, D.C. That actually feels very, very doable. And we do have priority going into this final turn, which is also important because it's going to mean we can't really get disrupted other than by Shang-Chi. Alright, Shang-Chi or bust. Is that one of the 2 remaining cards in my opponent's deck? I don't think so. Like I said, this deck often does not play Shang-Chi. That's not going to be Shang-Chi. That looks like a Doctor Doom to me. Which I think means now we are up 2 cubes going into the final 2 games, which is pretty good. There is the 48, and there is the 40. And my opponent's final card is that Doctor Doom. There we go. There we go. Whew. That's a really fun combo. Have not really played out with that too much. Played around with it too much, rather. Panther-Zola Odin. But it's fun. And it is definitely powerful. As you can see, 40 power at 2 locations. It's part of the big core package in this deck. We've got most of the package here. You also need Electro to actually make it work. It doesn't really work with Wave, which is kind of an awkward part of the deck. That half the combo only works with that. Alright. Alright. This is interesting. If it's just a differential game, then we can potentially win a differential game. That's not great. No ramp by turn 3. Okay. Yeah, much rather played a negative zone early than Jotunheim early. Right now both locations are -3 this turn. I think I'm just gonna go... I think it's just Electro... Doctor Doom, Odin? That really doesn't seem like it's good enough. I think I'm going to play the Doctor Doom and the Odin both in Jotunheim, which means I throw Electro into the negative zone because it's -1 power for me. They're going to play into Jotunheim. Jubilee is -1, and Doctor Doom does allow them to get some power into Sanctorum. But that's the only way that their deck adds power into Sanctorum, which means I think that me going double Doctor Doom will win this location. The problem is they just have to battle for Jotunheim here, and I'm kind of in a bad spot. But Jane is not going to add any power to Jotunheim. And I'm winning Jotunheim going into the final turn. The problem is I'm only adding 8 power there. So if they just play a Wasp into negative zone, then I'm kind of not really in a great spot at all. If it's going to come down to differential, then I just play Devil Dino for plus 12. But I probably lose this on differential. They add 3 power here. Go up to 11. I add 12, go up to 13. Yeah, so I can't win on differential. So I have to just make this play and basically hope that they play their Mjolnir here because they want to win in the negative zone. Okay, but it's probably Hulk to follow that up with, so I probably still lose. No, it's Odin. I forgot they also play Odin, so now it's going to come down to differential. And I feel like this probably doesn't favor me without having done the math yet. We're winning by 4 in Jotunheim, and we are losing by 19 in the negative zone. Yeah, didn't really have to do the math there. Forgot they could also Odin their Doombot. And now we are on to the last game, so this is a good one regardless. But it all comes down to this. Round 8. Another high-stakes round. Best of luck, Dev. And let's see if we can get him. So, Sakaar can either hit Sandman Odin or Arnim-Zola. Let's just Iceman him, and that way at least the Zola or the Odin can hit the Iceman again. Kind of not great for me. And Arnim-Zola, also kind of not great, but this is pretty disruptive, and High Evolutionary isn't that great for them. So there's a chance we just made their Lockjaw or their Thor cost, like, way too much. And now I get to go turn 2 Medusa into a Muir Island that Iceman flipped in. Honestly, this seems okay. Nothing else we can do but cross our fingers at this point. They're going to play a Wasp. Got to see if Iceman hit this at all. Awkward that I had priority going into the turn as well. No, Iceman did not hit this. And then Kamar Taj is our final location. Okay, well, nothing to do this turn, though we could get silly in the future. And we're keeping priority right now. I can Magneto the High Evolutionary. Still just going to be doing nothing, though, unfortunately. Ooh, double Jubilee. That probably means I've lost this location. Oh, and that Killmonger's brutal, too. What else do they got? Lockjaw. Okay. Well, I can now move around this entire location. This doesn't seem great for me. I guess they're actually... They don't have that much power here. And it's random whether they can add more power here. I might just be able to win with Devil Dino plus Magneto. Alright, I'm going to play Devil Dino into Muir Island so that way we can still keep up on power here. I imagine some Iceman triggers hit this, yes? No. No Iceman triggers. So my Iceman just hit like Jane and maybe one hit High Evo. They're not even showing me that. Interesting. Well, this is 16 power. I'm only winning by 12 here. Odin is 10, so I'm safe from Odin. Doctor Doom is... No, because Devil Dino shrinks. I lose to Doctor Doom then. Adding 10, that really smarts Yeah, that's probably what they're planning on playing. Dr. Doom into Lockjaw is actually really clutch. We could hope that this misses and just play Odin here, and then Odin hits the Medusa again, and it gives me 8 power here, which is currently winning. We'll beat Mjolnir off the flip. I'm going to go for this, because I think they're going to play Dr. Doom into Kamartaj. So that's going to give them more Doom bots. I want to abandon Sakaar. Well, I'm already abandoning Sakaar. Jane Foster to draw Mjolnir. Yeah, so I lose 14 in Kamartaj. I needed to add more power to Muir Island, though, and there was not really a great way to do so, unfortunately. So that is going to be a loss, but still a really fun gameplay overall for this one, I thought. And really fun video. We weren't able to get it in the end. It was very, very close though, and hopefully this was a good showcase for this sweet deck, and I'm going to keep playing it as well. But for today, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. Omno Lex Given. Peace.